What's up, Lemonheads? Welcome to another episode of From the Yellow Chair. I am Crystal, and today it's a little game of He Said, She Said. We're going to talk a little bit about, is it the tactic or the team when it comes to marketing that's helping us have underperforming tactics and plans and strategies in place? And so you're going to want to settle in, take some notes. This is a little toe stepping because I know as we talk through this, you're going to feel a little personally attacked. And I mean for it to be that way, because the best way that we can move our companies forward is self-reflection and honestly taking a deep, hard look at where is the actual issues and concerns. And let's call them opportunities to make things better. So saddle up, settle in, let's sip some lemonade. All right, guys. So this was just a little quick power shot that I wanted to bring to you guys about. He said, she said, is it the tactic or the team behind your success in all that you're investing in for marketing? And so, a lot of times people will say, well, I don't know why social media ads didn't work for me. They worked for my buddy. They worked for this guy on Facebook. They worked for this guy in my best practice group. You have all these things. Well, a lot of times the reason that they don't work is it's different communities, different brands, different spins, tons of caveats in there can really make things perform differently. So what I always tell everyone is you love to gain knowledge and information. This worked really well for this person. I love this company. I like these people. I like this price point, whatever it is. But then you have to layer on all the things that make you you. So we need to layer on your budget, your ideal target market, your strategy, meaning what else are you doing? Right? Because honestly, it is extremely hard to manage the success of one tactic unless that is the literal only thing you are doing. Because honestly, you guys know if you listen to my podcast very much that strategically I talk about 2 + 2 = 5 because things compound on themselves. Right. So when someone says, oh man, Facebook ads worked really well for me, I'm going to be like, perfect. I don't know. How long have you been running them? What else do you run? How strong is your brand? What does your organic social media look like? Are you in a rural area, metro area? Have you been in business 10 years or 40 years or 10 minutes? Right. All of that matters and will impact the success of the overall tactic. And so I love to just bring awareness to this. So when you sit down and you look at all of your tactics that you are doing in marketing, the PPC, the GLSA, if you're doing Facebook ads, if you're doing, any mass media, direct mail, social media, email marketing, all of these things when compounded together is your true marketing strategy. Everything else is advertising. Independently, they're advertising tactics. Cohesively, they're a marketing strategy. And so sometimes people will say, what's the difference, Crystal, like with what you do and what this digital company does? Well, the digital companies, they are one piece. They're an advertising tactic, right? Lemon Seed likes to focus on the entire scope of marketing, meaning all of your advertising tactics added together, your brand layered on top of that, and all of the company culture, all of those things together make you successful at marketing. So I wanted to make sure that you guys understood where I was going with this. He said, she said, because some of you will come to me and say, Crystal, my PPC vendor says that he's killing it. He's doing a great job. I'm the problem. Well, if you want me to be really honest with you, you probably are, but so he may be too. So that's why I said it's he said, she said, and then somewhere in the middle lies the truth. Okay. So when we are measuring the overall advertising tactical success of our plans, we need to remember that all things considered, as I say, all things considered, how did we do? And so the difference between having a plan and truly executing a strategy is when you are methodical and intentional about how you spend your dollars. So, for example, I told a client yesterday, I do not think I would spend any money on PPC in his market because there's so many other foundational things that we don't have a handle on. We do not have a strong website at the moment. We do not have a strong brand at the moment, and we need to work on those first. And so we can have a plan, But how we execute that plan is where everything comes. It's where that you separate the girls from the women, the boys from the men, right? Because execution is where it's at. We can have 1,000 good ideas, but can we really go to market with a strategy where we've connected all of our advertising tactics, layered in our brand, layered in our community support, layered in our culture. And that is how we move needles, guys. That is how we get an operator that can know that that portion of their business is under control. But there is the other side of this coin where operationally we're not hitting the metrics that we need to hit. So your website vendor is going to say, we're generating leads. And you're going to say, no, you're not. And then somewhere inside of that Service Titan dashboard or Certain Path dashboard or Field Access, whatever CRM you're using is the truth. Because we should be able to see all of that inside of one dashboard. And when we do, guys, that is when fireworks pop off, because all of a sudden you start having clarity about what's working, what's not working, and you're pivoting. If you have not heard me say this, marketing is one of those things you have to love it and be in it all the time because you're always pushing and pulling and moving. Okay. It's just how it works. So common signs that I think that your team might be the bottleneck of success is your answer booking, your call rate, your call booking rate, how well you're answering, how well your website is aligned with the customer journey that you want. So how do you want people to be able to do business with you? It can be texting, it can be form fills, it can be web chat, it can be regular phone calls. So it can be a selection of things. But you need to make sure that the customer journey across all of those ways of communication is solid and strong. Normally, that's where we find hiccups. Oh, well, every time someone comes from a paid lead source, we are sending them to a CSR who is at lunch or who doesn't work until 9 a.m., right? So there is an issue. So one common sign that I see in that is there's a very low booking rate and answer rate. That shows me that there's an issue with how we're answering our calls. The other thing that happens is anytime contractors use this kind of language, well, Crystal, my guys don't really like to, and then X, insert anything. And the problem with that is going to be, um, while I love all of my team members and value their opinions, um, the best way to ruin something really good is take it to committee. So I do not know why anyone goes to their team and says, hey, would you guys be okay if we sold some maintenance clubs? Would you guys be okay if we made a recommendation to repair and replace the unit or the system or whatever? I don't understand why we live life that way. I think we should come to the table very confident in what we want to do, and then the team will follow suit out of just pure confidence and coaching. So, my kids don't wake up every day pumped to do stuff. I have to be the catalyst for that. So, as an owner, as a lead person in the field, you have to be the catalyst for your team adopting these processes. So that means you're answering the phone quickly. You're responding to chats quickly. You are responding to text messages quickly. You have dashboards pulled up. You know where things are going on. You're not distracted at work with social media and cell phones. Your team members understand their expectations. They're clearly communicated. They're retold. They're posted publicly that we are a team that does X, Y, and Z. Honestly, disjointed expectations, yet clarity for the team is where I see another big point here. And so I think when you really build a team to outperform the competition, that is where we see things really happen. So when your CSRs and dispatchers truly understand what they should be doing, money, right? And then when your team, your field team, whatever that looks like, when they understand the process, and guys, you have to go over this process consistently and literally constantly. You have to go through and say, here's what we're going to do. Here's why we do it this way, over and over and over again. You have to repeat yourself. Welcome to marketing life too. But when you're coaching your team members, you have to say, hey, so does everyone know, remember our core values are honesty, or remember, we always shake hands at the door. Whatever the rules are that you have in place, they need to be communicated over and over and over again. The minute you think they know it, they don't. Bring it back up. Think of fun ways to gamify that. And that is how we win days. That is how we then win weeks and then win months and then win years. That is how we get a team excited about performance. That's how we start making good recommendations to homeowners and good solid movement for KPIs increasing, average tickets increasing, because all of a sudden everybody's on the same page. It's like being in a rowboat. If marketing is rowing one way, CSRs and dispatchers another way, leadership another way, technicians another way, that boat's just out there going nowhere. And fast maybe, but nowhere. Okay? Fast but nowhere. So the last little thing I wanted to talk about with you here is, how can we evaluate whether our systems, people, or processes are really holding us back? You know what? It's you have to inspect what you expect. So you cannot take your eyes off the ball. You have to know your numbers. And if you do not have a CRM, so again, House Call Pro, Field Edge, Service Titan, Certain Path, whatever you've got, it has to be able to give you information. How are you running a business when you don't know the average ticket of an install, the average ticket of running a service call? We need to know those things so we can calculate information correctly and data correctly. And so I want you to ask yourself this question before you abandon any strategy. Have I given enough time to perform? Did it have enough budget to perform? What did the ad copy look like to perform? Was my team ready for that promotion? On the front side, my CSR, and then in the home, was my team ready, and what was my follow-up? And as a leader, did I coach everybody first, or did I let the offers fly and not coach anyone? Right? So guys, he said, she said, odds are it's somewhere in the middle, whether it's a you problem operationally or a tactic problem. But honestly, at the end of the day, it may not be our fault, but it's still our problem. And we've got to figure out our marketing every single day and be looking at it. Don't take your eye off the ball. Really get down in the weeds with your marketing so that you can know when to pivot and make sure your team is ready to execute on those strategies that you're investing in. Guys, go win the day. Thank you for listening to another episode of From the Yellow Chair. If you like us, leave us a review. Go like all of our socials. Catch you next time.